Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Star Season 2, Episode 3, and the name of this episode is FUA, Goodnight. Now, this was a rather interesting episode, actually, but before I get started, let me offer my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by, the tragedy in Las Vegas, as well as everyone that was affected by Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Maria, as well as Hurricane Jose. If you can give relief or give support to anyone that was affected by these tragedies, please do so, because it's our responsibility to help our fellow man in times of trouble. Okay, so let's get started with this review. We actually see in the beginning of the episode, Derek, pretty much Alex is literally become the caregiver of Derek, since pretty much right now he's paralyzed. But I'm rooting that he gets better, though, because I do miss, the vibrance that Derek and Alex once had. But Alex is sticking by him, and I actually applaud that. And, pretty much, I think at first she was kind of like giving him a hand job or whatever, but then he was like, come on, finish before Grandma wake up. Because due to the injury, he's been having trouble, sexually. So he only can do what he can, and of course we can tell it's kind of frustrating Alex a little bit, but she's, staying strong or whatever. And then he notices that she has his bracelet on. He's like, where you get that bracelet from? And we actually remember that's the bracelet that she stole from that like store that she had went to. So he was like, oh no, it's just something that I've had for a while. I just recently found it. And then we actually see that they all get texts that they have to meet at the label. Simone gets a text, and she meets, she actually runs into an old girl, the girl that the girl whose friend killed herself. She's still being mean to Simone. She's like, look, just because she did don't mean that we gonna be friends. It ain't even going down like that, so you just need to go somewhere with that shit. But it's really because she's just really being deflective and not really trying to let Simone in. But Simone is really showing that she really does care. But she's like very dismissive to Simone, so Simone goes off. And then we actually see that Cotton comes downstairs. Baby is decked up, but while she in the shower, well, actually, it's before she came downstairs. She in the shower. She thinking about old boy that she got into the cell with. When she got locked up and she went to the men's side of the prison. The guy that she was in there, he was tearing her up, and she in the damn shower, getting off on herself, thinking about it. And then all of a sudden Star comes in, it's like, ew, girl, I don't know if I'm going to get in that shower after you. You up in there playing with yourself and stuff, thinking about his ass. Like, he must have put it on you. So it was kind of cool seeing Star and Cotton, kiki like they normally do, because the two of them really instantly clicked when they first met. So, oh yeah, so let me see here. Yeah, so we got that going. Oh yeah, that's not. Okay, my bad. Then we actually see downstairs, in the salon, Miss Bruce is there, because Miss Bruce is going to be running the salon while Carlotta focuses on managing, Big Trouble. And all of a sudden, he's got and also we see Miss Bruce got all these big ideas as to what she's gonna do. She's like, okay, you can bring in your cutters and all that, but you ain't gonna be knocking down no damn walls, or your ass gonna be in the damn unemployment line messing with me. So all of a sudden, we see Cotton comes downstairs. Cotton and Miss Bruce go back and forth. She's like, oh, girl, you need to get out of here with that smug-ass fucking attitude. Like, you already came back to prison. You just came back from prison, and you still bringing that bullshit up in here. Like, kind of just going back and forth with her. And then all of a sudden, Cotton kind of looks at Carlotta and was like, you know what? I can't even believe these girls even want to work with your sorry lying ass. And then we see Hiram come back, hey, watch how you talk to your mother. And she's like, oh, really, Dad? That's how you feel? And she just kind of walked off, and then he came behind and he's like, look, I'm sorry that, because mainly it's because she's pissed off because Carlotta lied to all of them about Hio dying, and Hio's now back. So since now she knows Hio's back, she's really pissed off Carlotta for lying to her. So he's like, you know what? And so pretty much, Hio goes after Cotton, and he's trying to talk to her like, I know you're about to go work with Ellie. Do you think it's a good idea? She's like, look, it's a legit job. I don't understand what your issue is. And she's like, look, I'm not working the streets no more. I got a legit job now, and at the end of the day, I got to do what I got to do, and you know what? I don't got time to deal with you and your snaky ass and anything that you got going, but thank you for the car. She got in the damn car and drove the fuck off. She's like, and then we actually see that Cotton is working with Elliot. Elliot runs a construction company. She's going to be working in the office, and then all of a sudden, we actually see when we first get there, there's a guy who's kind of like whistling at her, trying to get at her, and she's like, and then all of a sudden Cotton was like, if you know what I got up under this dress, you really would want me. And he's like, okay, and she kind of walks over there. He's like, look, I already told you, you're not going to disrespect any other employees here, so either you stop it or you're fired. And then he's like, man, these fucking chinks think they know everything. He's like, you know what? Get your shit and get the hell up out of here. You're fired. So she was kind of impressed by that. Okay, he a man with power. He handling his shit. And we see that Elliot still has this, kinship with Cotton. And the question is, and so far it looks good that he really doesn't have any evil intentions. He really does want to help her. But the question is, is it going to turn into something different down the line? But so far, so good. Elliot has shown that he really is trying to help Cotton. But then we see Cotton gets a visitor. And it's from, this girl named Mika, who's actually the sister of the guy that she was in jail with. He's about to get out, and he definitely wants to see her or whatever, but then she also says that she's also trying to get a job or whatever. So she's like, my resume's there, so pull some things to get me hired, and we will, everything will be good or whatever. So I'm like, oh damn, old boy getting out of jail, and she been fantasizing about him too. So we're gonna see how that's gonna pop off. But getting to like the whole meat of the episode, Iyanla is still doing her fuck shit at the label. Oh, and I like her assistant. Elisha Kelly plays her assistant. He is funny as shit. Because we saw at the last, because the reason is because we saw from the last episode, he had set up for Carlotta to meet her, and Carlotta went up there with that good wig, with that crazy wig, and had her feet up on the table and was drinking. And then all of a sudden she turns to the assistant and was like, "You're fired." He was like, "Oh girl, please. HR done already left and they love me, but I'll see you tomorrow, babes." I was like, he's funny and he's just real catty, and pretty much, we actually saw from the last episode, Carlotta kind of let her know that, look, why don't you, I already know the deal about you. You pretty much are like the black sheep of your family. You have not achieved anything, and this is your last resort. And if you don't succeed in this, you're done, and you're cut off. So, instead of you fighting us, you need to work with us because you need opportunity just as much as we need an opportunity. We can make each other happy. Which made sense. But Iyanla is a controlling, narcissistic bitch, and she's not going to be told what to do. So since that's how she is, she's on some other shit. So they have a meeting with the label. The meeting is pretty much that Hunger Games theory that she was discussing with Noah. That, all these artists they're trying to build Uptown's profile. So they got all these artists that are currently on the label performing at different locations. And guess what the hell She gives Noah a spot on Good Day Atlanta, which is a TV show. She actually gives Big Trouble a gig performing at this mall. So immediately, they all are kind of like, what the hell you mean? We ain't performing at no damn mall. And she's saying that, well, you don't have any hits, and you need to prove yourself that you're viable. And she's like, we fucking won the competition to get on this label. What do you mean? And she's like, well, the thing is, that was a competition. This is the big leagues, and you have to show and prove if you want to make it. So, if you can't make it here, what makes you think you can do anything else? So make it happen. And the girls are mad, and Carlotta's like, look, I know you guys are pissed, but let me tell you this. The reason why she's doing this shit is because you guys are strong women, and she's threatened by you guys. But you guys just had to keep proving her time and time again that you're not going to be knocked down and that you're not going to be pushed off. So Carlotta being upset about this shit, she about to go to Iyanla and try to shake this shit out. Then my sister's like, oh no, you can't see her. If you need to do any business, you need to talk to your A&R guy. He's the person you need to go to now. And she's like, what the hell is this shit? And then all of a sudden we see this guy comes up. He's like, how can I help you? She's like, yeah. I'm trying to get a meeting with Iyanla, because she keeps dogging my girls. And then all of a sudden we see that his sister's like, I was like, you don't take your asshole somewhere. But then he was like, okay, won't you come to my office? He's like, well, I don't know what the hell the deal is. I don't even know what you do or who you are. But at the end of the day, I'm over it. We've been on this label for 5 months, and she's just been giving us this bad treatment. And my girls are trying to move forward, and I need some answers. So then he introduced himself. His name is Maurice, and he's the A&R guy. So he's saying that, look, if you girls do good at this, and he's saying that, look, if anything, your girls need a hit, and your girls really, and he says, I really do like them. And he even remembered her from Mixed Harmony, the group that she had with Mary. So he's like, yeah, he says, oh yes, I definitely got a good ear for the classics. So, yeah, I know about you. And she's saying that, and she's saying, I like your girl group. But, they need to work on their sound. And Carlotta lets them know, like, look, they've been giving us shitty producers. You know what? Why don't you make it where we can actually get our own producer approval? That we work with who we want to work with, and we can actually control our music destiny. And then she started naming names, like Stevie Wonder did it, Marvin Gaye did it. When you, like, if you don't control the production of your music, you pretty much lose control of your career, and you lose control of your sound. So it's like, okay, I'll work on that. So we actually see that they perform at this mall, and throughout the episode we see that Star and Noah then, going flirting back and forth, getting aggressive with each other and shit. So what ends up happening, they perform at the mall. The performance is lackluster, and while they're performing, we see that Alex goes off, and the song Ratchet Life is playing, where she is just getting frustrated with what's going on with Derek, what's going on with the label. Everything is just caving in on her at that moment. And plus they're performing at this rundown mall, and the people there ain't even paying attention to them. They eating their food. They're not even focusing on them at all. And she pretty much gave them this fucked up remix of their song, and they don't like it, but they performed it anyway. So pretty much while this is going on in Alex's mind, it comes back to the performance, and then after the performance over, no one clapped, and then you even saw some girls at the table kind of snickering. So all of a sudden, they about to walk off, and then Alex just gets on the mic, was like, "Thank you and good night." And then she takes the mic stand and just slams it into the amp, and the whole damn place goes black. I'm like, I ain't mad at you, Alex, because it's just to the point where everything just caved in, and she just lost it right then and there. So then they get a meeting with Iyanla, And Iyanla's like, you know what? What the hell is going on? Like, I told you to shut down the performance. I ain't tell you to shut down by smashing one of the apps and shit. Like, you really just have it out for me. And then all of a sudden, Alice started charging at her like, first of all, bitch, you blah, blah, blah. And she's like, sit your non-talented ass down. I was like, Iyanla, somebody need to slap the shit out of you because she the most talented one out of all of them. Bitch. So all of a sudden, she was like, well, and then like, you know, Simone as well as Star was like, look, we're sorry about the amp and everything, but look, we was performing and no one was engaged, no one was paying attention to us. We did the song and we did what we were supposed to do, but the audience didn't respond. And then Iyanla, being a bitch, is like, well, if you can't even get response in a mall, what makes you think I'm going to put you in a stadium? And then Star was like, well, why don't you actually get us an album deal and you can find that out? And she's like, oh, you really got balls the size of Texas, don't you? And Star's like, yes, I like balls. They're nice. And she's like, okay, well, since you're so ballsy, I'm gonna set you up where you guys you guys are gonna perform with Noah on Good Day America. So of course they're excited because now they're about to get on TV and they're about to do their thing. But little do they know the shit's a setup, because we even see that we actually see that that Star and Noah going back and forth, and he's saying that like, you actually think you girls going, you know, you think you girls can actually be on the same stage as me? Girl, you tripping. And he's like, man, I'm going to do struggles around your asses. She was like, you ain't going to do struggles with us with that old ass shit you doing. You need to come up with something new. I mean, after all, we got some new stuff. And he was like, and she was like, look, you know, let's be real. You're the fluffer and we're the finishers. Boom. So I'm like, okay. So then it comes to the actual performance, and then also we've seen, I'm also going to talk about Hyle, I'm going to get to him. Then we actually get to the actual performance, and we come to find out they got their little red dresses or whatever, they shiny, and they look like they're a girl group who was about to shut it down. But then Iyanla comes in with some black jackets. She's like, put these jackets on. You guys are too flashy. And she's like, why we got to put on these jackets? She's like, because you don't need to be this flashy when you singing backup. And I'm like, you evil trick. Like, you literally had them thinking they was going to get their own set, but they're singing backup to Noah. So, and of course Noah kind of rubs it in Star's face. Oh, I thought y'all was going to shut me down. But I feel great that you women are going to be backing me up, you know. And what ends up happening was that, and like, you know, Carlotta's like trying to talk to Iyanla, and also Maurice is standing right there. Maurice is not saying anything. He's not saying a damn word. And, you know, she's telling Iyanla, my girls don't sing backup. They're not backup. She's like, well, they're backup today because at the end of the day, it's my label. And it's my way or no way. That's how it is. And I'm just like, see, she need her ass whooped. She really needs her ass whooped because, for one, bitch, you're just power tripping, but you really ain't got no fucking credentials to be tripping the way you are, nor to be boasting the way you are, because you actually need artists in order to make your label hot. And you treat your artists like shit, and you ain't even got no record shit. You just a spoiled rich girl who just got handed some shit. Trifling slut. Anyway, so the performance goes on, but before they get on there, the three of them talk, and Star was like, man, she think we singing back up, but we can flip this shit. We about to hostile take over this motherfucker. We about to do it. So they get up there singing back up for him. And of course, Noah at first is kind of jocking. You know, he's doing his thing. Next thing you know, the girls get down there and they kind of step in front of Noah and they literally take over the set and they literally rock it. And, you know, and then we see Noah like, oh, like trying to fit in where he can fit in. And we can see it really got to him. But the crowd loved the performance. They went crazy over it. And then Carlotta looked at Iyanla was like, oh yeah, My girls ain't good singing backup, honey. And walked off. I was like, yeah, check her dumb ass. So we actually see later on, Noah confronts Star. He's saying like, yo, that was some real trifling shit you pulled with them whack ass dance moves and them tired ass vocals. And she's like, well, obviously we saved your damn performance with them whack ass songs you've been singing. He's like, look, I know you a thirst bucket and I know you crave attention, but you going about this shit the wrong way. And I don't know what the hell you may think about me, but I am not the one. And I was like, he got up in her face and everything. I was like, yo, I'm getting hunter cheese from you, Noah. Oh, you gonna be the next ass kisser in her? You gonna be the next ass kicker in her life? Interesting. But Star's intrigued by that. She likes the bad boys. And we see later on, she kind of flirts with him, and he, she kind of puts his hands in his pants and gets him kind of hot, and then he kind of puts his hand in her skirt and was like, game recognized game, baby. I was like, see, these two are a mess, and we can just see there's going to be some shit with the two of them. So we saw that go down. Now, Hyle is now back. Hyle, they were actually rehearsing, the girls. He intervenes trying to be their producer, and then he got this song, and then he said that the producers, y'all got their label ain't shit, but I got a good sound for y'all, but they ain't trying to hear Hyle for shit, because for one, they pretty much got they pretty much had a bad situation with Hyle, because we remember how Hyle was all about, what was her name? Ella, I think. He was all about old girl, Miss Thing, and, the one that got shot up with Hunter's ass. He was making it all about her, mainly because he was screwing her. And that's what Hyle does. Whoever he's screwing, that's who's going to get his utmost attention. And we kind of see this is like a history with Hyle. So after all of that, and then also after the fact that he faked his own death, and all of a sudden he just popped back, all of them are dropped like, you're alive, nigga? Because they were all kind of shocked, like, what the hell is this shit? Because they didn't know he was still alive. But he just popped up on them and saying, I got this track and everything. It's like, look, you've been doing too much shit, and we don't trust you. So why don't you go sell drugs or sell women, whatever you do, but you ain't getting shit over here. Then, Carlotta finds out about him coming to the girls. She checks him, is like, look, if you want to work with these girls, you're going to have to do it through me, and what you doing is some bullshit. I did what I did to help you, to protect it. It's like, I did what I did to help protect these girls and protect this family. And she's like, oh, wow. I actually thought that you did it because you cared about me. And he's like, I do care about you. That's why I'm doing this. But she's saying to let you know that, look, these girls are my priority now. You had your shot, you failed. And if you want to get back in with them, you need to go through me. And he's like, look, I just really need a chance. I need an opportunity. And she's like, yeah, you do need an opportunity, but not with my girls. So we see later on, Hyle, has his song or whatever, and he is at the bar with guess who? Iyanla's ass. So him and Iyanla kind of going back and forth, and we can definitely tell there's some flirtation going on because Hyle definitely got miles on his dick, so therefore he gonna throw the dick if it's gonna benefit him. So he's kind of like letting her know, like, yeah, I got this new sound from this producer. You want to hear it? So he gives her the earpiece, and she hears it, and she's like, oh, I like this. This is nice. Who's the producer? She says, I can set something up with you. Won't you give me this number? She's like, oh, hold up. I know this is a setup. You knew exactly who I was, and you knew exactly what you were doing. So tell me, what's this producer? She's like, well, if you want to know so much, call that number. And walked out. I was like, see, it's going to be some shit. Because every time when Hyle leaves with that, and we can definitely see Miss Iyanla was feeling it. And she probably needs some dick. That's why she's such a bitch. So, we see that going on. So then, let's see, what ended up happening? So after that so after all of that went down, we actually see that Maurice goes to Carlotta's house, and he wants to talk to her, and she was like, man, I ain't got shit to say to you, because you literally sat there quiet when I was like trying to voice, my feelings in regards to the label, in regards to Iyanla, and you sat there and you didn't say anything. It's like, what good are you? And he's like, you know what, I came to make a peace offering, so he brought a bottle or whatever. And she's like, I don't need your drink. And then Bruce's like, oh yes we do. We need the money. And she's like, she know he A&R. So Bruce is that one person that kind of can snap Carlotta out of her shit. But then he's saying that, look, I just want to see if I can get a touch up or whatever, and we can talk. So she's like, okay. So she's like, so you want to cut? She's like, yeah. Man, she got that damn razor. And the way she was about to go out with that razor, he jumped out that shit. I was like, ah! I'm like, yeah, Carlotta ain't to be fucked with. She was like, you sat there and you acted like a straight bitch today. You said that you had our back and you said that you was going to look out for us, and yet this is the type of shit that goes down, and you sat there and you didn't do anything. You allowed that type to happen. You allowed my girls to get humiliated, and now you want to come in here talking some shit. What makes you think I want to add anything? What makes you think I give a damn of anything you got to say right now? And he says that, look, I'm sorry about what happened today, but I do got some good news. I got you guys producer approval, so you guys can have whatever producer you want to work on your tracks. It's no longer being controlled by the label. So she was really happy about that, wow, we finally got producer approval. So she lets the girls know about it. They're excited. We actually see later on that Alex and Derek, finally, are getting intimate. And she's trying to take it slow because, he's been having some issues, sexually. But then he starts kind of like, come closer. Come in. Yeah, like that. Keep going. And I was just like, oh, he's feeling it now. And she was just, I was like, okay, girl, get your life. You finally got your man back. And he's finally ready to get it on. So I wasn't mad about that at all. And then we see that Simone and old girl at the jail, we see that she has all these pills spread out on the bed or whatever. And she actually says that me and old girl were supposed to kill ourselves together. But she ended up going before me. And she says that, look, you don't have to do this. There's more to life than this, and I'm here by your side. We can get through this together. So she pretty much comforts old girl, and I think them two gonna end up being an item. Actually, that's just my hypothesis, because we saw Simone definitely got lesbian tendencies, because when she kissed Paris Jackson last week, she did it, with no fucking problem. It even shocked Star. So we see something going on with that. And then we actually see that Star's about to go into the house with Carlotta, and then all of a sudden we see this guy come out, and he's like, hey Carlotta, and she's like, what the hell do you want, Brody? And he's like, well, I came here to see my daughter. Hi, Star. And I was like, oh shit! You mean to tell me that after all this motherfucking time, her father decides to show up? This is gonna be really good. So that's where the episode ended. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, I have started a GoFundMe account. Check out that link in the description box as well. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Star. So until then, everybody, take care.